The rain hammered against the windows of the quiet suburban house like it had a personal grudge. Inside, the air smelled of old wood polish and something sharper, metallic, almost like copper. Shen Yue stood frozen in the doorway of the living room, her hand still resting on the light switch she had just flipped. The soft yellow glow revealed what neither she nor Dylan Wang had been prepared to see. Dylan's mother was not sitting in her usual armchair by the window. She was not knitting. She was not watching the evening news. She was lying face down on the polished floor, one arm stretched out toward the hallway as if she had been reaching for something in her final moments. A thin trail of dark liquid had already begun to dry near her temple. The house was completely silent except for the relentless rain and the faint ticking of the antique clock on the mantel. For 3 full seconds no one moved. Then Dylan's voice cut through the stillness, low and cracked. "Mom." He crossed the room in 4 long strides and dropped to his knees beside her. Shen Yue stayed rooted by the door, her mind racing through every possible explanation that did not involve the worst. A fall. A sudden illness. A prank that had gone too far. Anything except what the scene was already forcing them to accept. Dylan carefully rolled his mother onto her back. Her eyes were closed. Her skin was cool. There was no pulse beneath the 2 fingers he pressed against her neck. He did not scream. He simply sat there on the floor, one hand still resting on her shoulder, staring at the ceiling as if the answer might be written there. Shen Yue finally found the strength to move. She walked over, knelt on the other side, and took the older woman's hand. It was limp. She checked for breath the way she had learned in a first aid class years ago. "Nothing." She looked at Dylan. His expression had gone completely blank, the way it did when he was processing something too large to feel all at once. "Call an ambulance," she said quietly. He did not answer. She pulled her own phone from her pocket and dialed emergency services with steady fingers, giving the address in a calm voice that did not match the pounding of her heart. While she spoke, Dylan remained kneeling, gently brushing a strand of hair away from his mother's forehead as if she might still feel the gesture. The operator stayed on the line. Sirens would arrive in minutes. Until then, the 3 of them, 2 living, 1 not, occupied the same quiet room under the sound of rain. When the paramedics entered, they moved with practiced efficiency. They confirmed what Dylan and Shen Yue already knew. There was nothing left to revive. A police officer arrived shortly after and began asking careful questions. Dylan answered in short sentences. Shen Yue filled in the gaps when his voice failed. They had come to visit after a long drive from the city. Dylan's mother had texted that morning saying she was looking forward to seeing them. The front door had been unlocked. Nothing appeared disturbed. No signs of forced entry. No obvious struggle. The officer noted everything down and said an investigation would follow as a matter of procedure. For now the house was to remain under temporary restriction. Dylan was asked if there was anyone else who should be notified. He gave the names of 2 aunts and a cousin. His father had passed years earlier. There was no one else. After the body was taken away and the officers left, the house felt larger and colder. Dylan sat on the edge of the sofa with his head in his hands. Shen Yue sat beside him without speaking. The rain continued. Somewhere down the street a dog barked once and then fell silent. Hours passed. At some point Dylan stood up, walked into the kitchen, and started making tea the way his mother used to, 2 spoonfuls of leaves, water just off the boil, a long steep. He poured 2 cups and brought them back to the living room. They drank in silence. The tea tasted exactly the same as it always had. Shen Yue finally broke the quiet. "Do you want to talk about it?" "Not yet," he answered. His voice was hoarse. "I keep thinking about the last time I saw her. She was laughing about something stupid I said. She told me to bring you next time. She said she wanted to hear more about the project you two were working on." Shen Yue nodded. She remembered the call. Dylan's mother had always been warm toward her, treating her less like a guest and more like someone who already belonged in the family. That warmth made the emptiness of the house feel sharper now. They stayed the night because leaving felt wrong. Dylan took the guest room. Shen Yue slept on the sofa under a blanket that still smelled faintly of lavender detergent. Neither of them slept much. Every creak of the old house sounded louder than it should have. In the morning the rain had stopped. Pale sunlight filtered through the curtains. Dylan was already awake, standing at the kitchen window with a fresh cup of tea. Shen Yue joined him. Outside, the garden looked ordinary, roses still climbing the trellis, a bird feeder swaying gently in the breeze. Life continued in small, indifferent ways. Over the next few days the practical matters began. Relatives arrived. Arrangements were made. The investigation confirmed what the first officers had suspected: a sudden medical event, most likely a stroke or cardiac incident, with no evidence of foul play. The official cause would be determined by the coroner, but there was no suggestion of anything criminal. The news brought a strange kind of relief mixed with fresh grief. There was no villain to confront, only the simple and brutal fact that a life had ended without warning. Dylan handled the formalities with a quiet focus that worried Shen Yue more than open emotion would have. He sorted through paperwork, answered phone calls, and accepted condolences with the same steady politeness he used in public appearances. Only when the house was empty again did the mask slip. One evening she found him sitting on the floor of his mother's bedroom, holding a small photo album. The pictures showed Dylan as a child, missing teeth, scraped knees, grinning beside a younger version of the woman who was no longer there. Shen Yue sat down beside him. They looked through the pages together without speaking. When they reached the end, Dylan closed the album carefully and set it aside. "She always said she wanted a quiet life," he said. "No drama. Just a garden and enough tea and the people she cared about nearby. I keep wondering if I visited enough. If the last few years were enough." Shen Yue did not offer empty reassurances. Instead she said, "She was proud of you. That part is not in question." He nodded once. The silence that followed was different from the stunned quiet of the first night. It felt heavier but also more honest. In the weeks that followed, Dylan and Shen Yue returned to the house several times to pack belongings, decide what to keep, and prepare the property for eventual sale. Each visit carried its own weight. Opening drawers revealed letters, old birthday cards, a half-finished knitting project still on the needles. The ordinary objects of a life became suddenly precious and painful at the same time. One afternoon, while sorting through a box of photographs, Shen Yue found a sealed envelope with her name written on the front in the careful handwriting of Dylan's mother. Inside was a short letter dated only a month earlier. The letter thanked Shen Yue for the way she looked after Dylan, for the patience she showed when work schedules collided, and for the quiet strength she brought into the family. It ended with a simple wish that the two of them would continue to take care of each other long after the writer was gone. There was no sense of impending farewell in the words, only the practical affection of someone who understood that life was finite and wanted certain things said while there was still time. Shen Yue read the letter twice, then handed it to Dylan. He read it slowly, folded it with care, and placed it back in the envelope. Neither of them spoke for a long time. The process of clearing the house continued. Friends and distant relatives helped. Meals were shared around the kitchen table that still carried faint marks from years of use. Stories were told, some funny, some bittersweet. Dylan listened more than he spoke, but gradually the rigid control in his posture began to ease. Grief did not disappear, but it settled into something that could be carried rather than something that crushed. Months later, when the house was empty and the paperwork complete, Dylan and Shen Yue stood together in the garden one final time. The roses were in full bloom. The bird feeder still swayed. The sky was clear. Dylan looked at the front door, then at Shen Yue. "Thank you for being here through all of it," he said. She did not reply with words, she simply took his hand. The gesture was small, but it carried the weight of everything they had faced since the night the rain would not stop and the living room light first revealed a truth neither of them had been ready to meet. They walked down the path together, leaving the quiet house behind. The road ahead was ordinary and uncertain, filled with the same mixture of work, distance, and closeness that had always defined their lives. Yet something had shifted. The sudden loss had stripped away certain illusions about time and permanence. What remained was clearer: the people still standing, the days still available, and the quiet decision to face them side by side. In the years that followed, they returned to the garden only in memory. The roses continued to bloom for whoever lived there next. The clock on the mantel found a new home. The tea leaves were used up and replaced.
Please subscribe for more celebrity drama. Thank you.